never stop chasing your dreams. Never stop running after your dreams. I say it a different way, right? Don't give up what you want most for what you want now. That means you got to keep running after what you want most. That's assuming that you know what you want. It's assuming that you know what the dream is, that you know what the vision is, that you know what the goal is. As long as you know that, then you never stop running after it. You never stop chasing it. You never stop going after the thing that you want most. Again, we're doing some vision boarding last night. So all this stuff is very present in my mind, right? About the things that we're going after. Right in the middle of the vision board, right? It says freedom. My vision board says freedom. And so the more that you see that, you got to have it in your mind to keep chasing and keep running after your dream. First, know that you have a dream. If not, get clear on the dream. And then two, spend every single day that you have on this earth going after that thing, going after those things that you want. Never stop. Never stop. I was having a conversation with a gentleman, and we were talking about the things that we talk about on this call, on these calls. And I asked him what his big dream was. He's a little bit older, right? Little bit older, right? In his 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And we're having a conversation about what the dream was. Like, hey man, what are we trying to get to? And he was like, honestly, Chris, it's been hard to dream. Like he had some illnesses and some things in the past, and he was like, man, I don't really know. I don't really dream like that. And he was really honest up front. And I was like, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty on that one because I know it's hard. I was like, I work with people in their 20s that don't have a dream. And I work with people in their right 70s that don't have a dream and everything in between. And so I understand at some point life knocks you down and you have a choice of whether or not you want to turn the dream machine back on and say, I can keep hoping for a better future. I can keep hoping and believing that things will be better for me, that will change, that will be different. I can keep hoping those things, or I could stop hoping and I could stop getting my feelings hurt and I could stop getting disappointed and I could just appreciate the life that I have where I am and just settle in. And most people at some point in life take that option where they just settle in and they stop chasing their dream. They turn the dream machine off. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2025 and beyond, just know you cannot turn your dream machine off. It doesn't matter your age or stage in life, like you cannot turn your dream machine off. You have to keep dreaming and keep chasing that dream for the rest of your life because it's going to happen. Lisa dropped a quote in there that I was going to drop in, right? The best revenge is massive success. It's a great quote. The best revenge is massive success for people that have ever doubted you in your life, for people that have ever closed the doors on you, have ever told you that you weren't going to make it or you didn't have it or whatever the case is. The best revenge is just massive success. It's just massive success, right? Like Jay-Z has some lines in some of his songs, right? Where it's one of those things like, you know, basically I got to a level of success. He's gotten to a level of success where like no one else, nothing else can bother him or touch him. That's the best revenge. People that are mad at you, just go be more successful. Just go be more successful and success in all areas, financially successful, spiritually successful in your relationships, in your health. Like just go live your best life. I know we use that saying a bunch. It's very cliche of living your best life. But yes, that's how you get back all of the people, circumstances, pains, things that have wronged you. You just go off and be awesome at life. It's the best revenge to be successful in all areas, to be happy, to be healthy, to have wealth, to be able to control your time, to have great relationships, all the things. That's how you win the game. That's how you win the game. And winning is important, y'all. Some things that Les Brown said in there, I don't even have to pull up 177 mental toughness secrets because Les Brown had so much stuff in there. He said two things I believe in that you're going to need. First, he said faith. You're going to need some major faith to go after your dreams. I hope y'all understand that going after your dreams is a faith move. It's something that it builds your faith, it builds your character in order to go after your dreams. So you have to have your faith. You have to have your faith life strong. If you're going into 2025 and your faith life might not, right, be as strong as it needs to be, I'm gonna challenge you to, right, improve that, increase that, spend some time consuming whatever your foundations are, because faith has a lot to do with us being able to dream and get to that dream. Second thing he said was patience. It's funny, those are the first two tattoos I ever got in life. I don't know if it was God, if it was intuition, or whatever happened. But when I was 18, my first two tattoos ever say faith and patience. And I've lived that life for a very long time. But those are the things that are necessary. Those are the things that are necessary, right? Patience. What do I always say? Patience, right? Like long term, it's patience. Short term, it's execution. So be very patient with your results, but be very aggressive with your activity. That's why he said the consistent action part. Everyone says it a little bit different, but it's all the same message. Les Brown said you're going to need the patience part and consistent action. It's like you're doing something consistently, but you're patient that of how the result turns out. So that's always what I tell you guys. Be very patient with your results, but be very aggressive with your activity, meaning you're constantly in motion. You constantly have action towards your dreams, towards your goals. That's what allows you to know that you're doing the work, and you can be patient with what the result is, because you never know when it's your time. It's really all in God's timing. It's not in our time at all. We can just do the work. We just can control our actions and our attitude. We can't control the timing of when things happen. So that's why you got to build and develop that patience, but you got to do it with consistent action. This is how you go after your dreams. It's a new year. We got to get to our dreams. We got to get to our goals. So here's how, like, these are the practical ways, the practical things to think about that'll allow you to get there. So faith, having building up your faith life, building your patience long term, knowing that it will come. You just don't know when it's going to come, but that's fine, that it will come, and that you need to have consistent action around the things that you want to make happen. It doesn't just poof fall from the sky and it just lands on you. It's all work. It's all action. It's all doing it long term. He gave that example of the Chinese bamboo tree. I love that metaphor. I love that example. The Chinese bamboo tree is a great understanding representation of patience. Again, Les Brown said the story, but the story is very common, right? They say that if you plant a Chinese bamboo tree, you put it under the ground, it takes about 5 years. That's about right. It takes about 5 years for that seed to crack and it to break ground. 5 years, y'all. Like normal seed might take a few weeks to break ground, right? But this takes 5 years once you plant a bamboo tree for it just to pop up and see something come out of the ground. But from that popping out of the ground in that fifth year, when it pops out of the ground, soon as you see it, the next 90, the next like 6 months, it grows like 90 feet. Next 6 months, it grows like 90 feet tall. Like imagine that. Like nothing for 5 years. Then in 6 months, 90 feet all the way up. Les Brown asked the question, so is it 6 months or is it 5 years? Like, how long does it take it to grow 90 feet? 90 feet. Is it the 6 months that you see it come out of ground? Or is it the 5 years since the seed has been planted? Love that, because that's our life, right? That's life. That's the dream you have. The dream has been planted. The characteristics that you need to grow, to learn, to understand people, to understand your industry, to understand money, to understand business, to right to have better relationships, to build yourself, build your integrity, to have some disciplines, right? The time that it takes, the seed's already there. It's already been planted. It just we're watering it. It takes some time. And then before you know it, break ground, and now we're off into the stratosphere, because all of that work that we've been putting in, all of these years of you jumping on this call will not go wasted. All of the years of you consuming good information and continuing to day by day, right? Continue to chase after your dreams and do the small things. None of it goes wasted. It only goes wasted when you stop doing that process. just like the bamboo tree, right? Like if you stop watering it and you stop fertilizing, like you stop caring for it, even in those 5 years while it's in the ground, it's not going to produce anything. It's not going to pop out of the ground. And so that's the only way that we shoot ourselves in the foot. That's the only way we don't get to where we want to go is if we ever stop the process of progression. It's the only way it stops. But if you just make a commitment for the rest of your life to chase after your dream and constantly deposit new things and water this dream, water this seed that you have inside of you, it will pop out of the ground. Like it will happen. That's the faith part. That's the patience part. That's the belief part. You got to believe that. And you got to do the work. You can't stop watering it and then think that it's going to pop out of the ground. You can't not feed the tend the soil and do all the stuff. You can't think that you can just let it sit and that's going to grow into a healthy bamboo tree. It's not the way it works, y'all. So this is always why we have to constantly make the decision to grow, to learn, to get better, to improve, to just progress. Remember, progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. So we have to make that commitment so we can be like that bamboo tree. So that before you know it, all the watering and all the nurturing and all the stuff that's been you've been taking in and that's been happening over the years, all of a sudden pops you out of the ground, shoots you up 90 feet. You're in a completely different stratosphere, you're in a completely different environment, completely different arena, different circumstances, different money, different friends, different thoughts. Everything's different from the work you've been doing. So that's why these calls are important. That's why you continue to do it. Last two things that last I guess one thing I wrote down because Lisa stole my other one of best revenge is massive success. But the last thing, the last thing that I wrote down was you also got to know your why. You also got to know your why. You got to understand if it's just not about the dream or the goal or where you're headed. It's about why you want to get there. What is that going to make you feel? What is that going to do for you? Remember, we're emotional creatures. We're emotional creatures. So we have an emotion that lies behind the actions or the things that we do. There's an emotion we're trying to experience. There's something we're trying to feel when we set the goal. So you got to figure that out. You got to figure out, well, why do I really want this? Why would I go through the ups and downs and all the tough stuff and right, all the adversity that's going to come my way to go after this life? Because that's always the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's going to be a bunch of adversity along the journey of you getting to the life that you want. It's going to be a lot of distractions. The enemy is going to come and try to knock you off path, right? Like there's going to be a lot of things that happen down this path. And so you have to know why you're willing to go through it, why you're fighting. I think that's one of the 177 mental toughness secrets chapters. Champions know why they're fighting. Do you know why you're about to fight this battle in 2025? Do you know why you're going to sacrifice and put yourself under some stressful conditions and get uncomfortable? Like, do you know why? Do you know what that feeling is? Do you know what you're after? I know we want $1 million, but do we know why we want it? Do we know, like, is it a feeling of accomplishment? Is it a feeling of security? Is it a feeling of safety? Is it a feeling of freedom? Like, what's the feeling behind why we want that thing? And if we can get really clear on that type of stuff, if you can start to understand your why, it just makes it easier to run after it. The road gets tough, ladies and gentlemen. You all know this. This is a battle. This is a battle of the mind, right? The battlefield is the mind. It's not the external things, it's the internal things. It's how we're dealing up here. And so, if we can start to think of some of these areas, if we can start to build our faith, well, first, if we can make sure we have a dream, make sure you have something you're going after, make sure you know the life you want. If you didn't do a vision board, maybe take a page out of our book and do a vision board today. Maybe you don't go to work today. Maybe you can run to all we did, right? We found some everything's Googleable. Before you used to have to get magazines, right? And just like hope that there were some good pictures in the magazine. Now you can just Google, you can just AI. Here's the picture that I'd like to see. You get that stuff printed out. You go put it on some poster board. You got yourself a vision board. You can do it digitally. You can just do it on Canva. You can just open up Canva and play around on Canva and right, just move all your pictures in there and then print that out. That's fine too. But regardless, the benefit of visualization is the fact that you're consuming something, right? That you're putting in your mind, putting in your mind's eye that you're going to be able to achieve one day. You're going to see the same things. Reticular activating system, whatever, right? Whatever the mind focuses on, we see more of that stuff. So if you plaster images in front of your face over and over and over again, you're going to start to experience that life. This is all television is. That's why they call it television programming. This is all the radio is. That's why they call it radio programming, right? It's because these are things that imprint thoughts and visions on your mind, and it causes you to live a certain life. You can do that for yourself. Just print out all the pictures, all the things you want to see, the yachts, the jets, the cars, the families, the health, all the stuff. Just print it all out and look at it all the time and watch that help you develop your dream. We start doing all these other things like building our faith, like building our patience, like making sure we're taking constant action towards things, right? Making sure that we are actually giving ourselves to the process of getting great. That's what we're here to do, y'all. That's what we're here to do. And I'm here to do it with y'all the entire year. It's a brand new year. It's 2025. This is going to be the year for you that all the things change, all the things that you want to make happen are going to make, you're going to make them happen this year. You have to believe that. You have to have hope and faith and know that you can make it happen. This can be the year. It doesn't have to be in 5 years. It doesn't have to be in 3 years. It doesn't have to be in 10 years. It can be this year. If you take massive action towards your goals, if you can understand exactly what you want to make happen, and then you can put the time, the dedication, the work in, you can miss some hours of sleep. You can have some early mornings and some late nights, and you're doing some stuff uncomfortable. You can get to whatever those goals are. And we're all here to do it together, y'all. It's too crowded down here at the bottom. It's time to get to the top of this thing. I love you guys. It's 2025. Go out today and do something that scares you. Today, like do something that literally is completely different than what you did in 2024. Something you haven't done at all in 2024. Go do that thing today. It's the first day of the year. Go do that thing and watch how it starts your year off and the trajectory that you have of changing these habits. All right. Love you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday. Keep the year going strong. Take care.